I've used this lead generation strategy to generate over $500,000 in revenue for myself and my clients, and I've booked over 1,000 qualified meetings using this exact same strategy. And in this video, I'll show you my step-by-step guide on how you can do the same so that you can grow your own company. We'll go over my 3-step lead generation blueprint to explode your business in 2025. Let's get right into it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video where I'll go over the best lead generation strategy of 2025. I'm not going to hold anything back, so make sure you stick around until the end of the video because I'll give out some extremely valuable insight so you can book more meetings this year and close more clients and sign more customers, right? So let's get right into it, right? The tools that you're going to need is smartly.ai to actually send out these emails. We're going to be doing cold email lead generation. You're going to use OpenAI for doing market research and helping out with the offer. You're going to use Apollo for scraping the lead list, and you're going to use Outscraper if you're going after local small businesses. So Apollo is better if you're targeting anybody else that's not a local small businesses, like if you're targeting enterprise, and Outscraper is if you're targeting local small businesses, think like plumbers, roofers, HVAC, dentists, all that good stuff, right? So let's get right into it, right? The first thing that you're going to need to do is figure out your ideal customer profile. So what do I mean by ideal customer profile? Well, you have to have like a dream or like a outline in your head of who your ideal customers are, and usually these are the 4 things that we look at our agency when we're going after a target market. We look at what job title are they in, what industry are they in, what employee headcount, how many employees they have at the company, and what technology they use. You can also add geographical location, but for most of you, I'm assuming you're targeting US or maybe UK or whatever it may be. I doubt you're going city by city unless you're targeting like local small businesses, or unless you're targeting in-person meetings and you have like an in-person offer, something like video production. But most of you, I'm assuming, the geographical location doesn't really matter as much, but you can add that in there as well. So for example, if we go after these same filters here, right, we could say, I'm targeting COOs of logistics company with 1150 employees using the technology ship station, right? That's an ideal customer profile. That's a decent enough market that you can reach out to using Apollo or Outscraper that you can scrape, right? So what I need you to do for this first step here is I need you to figure out your ideal customer profile based off of these 4 filters here. Figure out, what job titles have I worked with in the past that when they hop on the call with me, they already kind of understand our services and they're easier to sell to, or they're in charge of making a decision on whether or not to buy or use my services or product. Look at the industries that worked with you, that you've worked with, that have figured out the best. For some of you, you only work with one particular industry, but for those of you that work with many industries, just look at your best case studies and ask yourself, okay, which case studies or which clients or customers produced the best case studies that I really enjoyed working with, that I felt it was easy to work with, right? And go after that same industry, right? So let's say you've worked with lawyers, dentists, roofers, landscapers, right? But the best case study that you have is with lawyers, and you really enjoy working with lawyers. Obviously, go for lawyers. Then look at the employee headcount. Ask yourself, what, on average, how many employees does my clients or customers have at their company? So ask yourself, okay, if they have over 5 employees, can they afford my services or product? Yes, they can. Okay, then the minimum is 5 employees, right? So just ask yourself, on average, across all my customers and clients throughout the years, on average, how many employees do they actually have at the company? And then all you have to do is just build a lead list or build like a range like this off of that. And then finally, ask yourself, like, what technology, if any, do they use at their company? So, for example, if you're a 3PL software, most of your clients or customers might use ShipStation, right? If you are a Facebook ads agency, you're targeting e-commerce, most of your clients will use Shopify. If you are or they might use something like, if you're a CRO agency, they might use something like Optimizely, right? So just get into the head of, okay, what technologies are my ideal customers actually using? Because you can scrape stuff like that on Apollo if it's big enough, right? So really write all of this down and have it so something like this, right? It doesn't have to be one singular job title, one singular industry, one singular headcount. You can write multiple, but make sure it's 2 to 3 max. For job titles, you can have more than 5, I would say. But for industries and everything else, just have no more than 2 to 3 max, right? Now, if you're targeting small businesses, again, use Outscraper. For the other ones, use Apollo.io. And here's kind of like a breakdown of how Outscraper works, right? So Outscraper is like a scraper that scrapes Google Maps. So you can see up here, I'm going after Italian restaurants, right? Because you have to think whenever you use Google Maps to, let's say, find restaurants or plumbers or roofers near you, what are you typing? If you're typing like or you're typing plumbers near me or roofers near me or plumbers in my area, whatever it may be, right? So you have to treat this thing at the top like a Google search bar. And this is exactly what I've done here. I've literally looked up Italian restaurant, Italian food, Northern Italian restaurant, Southern Italian restaurant, and treated it like an actual search bar. So for you, if you're targeting anybody else, you can put roofers or plumbers, and you can even go into details of like, say, if targeting dentists, you can put dental clinic, you can put dentist, you can put orthodontist, you can put teeth whitening services, you can put braces, you can put Invisalign. So these are just different ways. You can put more than just the actual name itself. You can put like search terms related to that particular industry. So just like the dentist example, you can put braces, you can put Invisalign, you can put orthodontist, you can put pediatric dentist. So there's, instead of just putting dentist or dental clinic, you can put all these other extra things because it's related to that industry. And think if you were looking up like, Invisalign near me, what would it show? It'll show you dentist. And the dentists that are ranking higher on that term will pop up, right? So it's the same thing here. Whatever your target market is, put obviously the actual market itself on here, but also put related keywords that when someone looks them up, your target market appears, right? Then if you're targeting local small businesses, location would probably matter. Depending on the city, there's a certain amount of a certain type of business that is there. So for this one, I put Las Vegas, Boston, LA, and I forgot one more. But the reason I did this is I actually did market research beforehand, which is the second step. We'll get into more of that later. But I did market research beforehand, and I found out that a lot of these 3 cities right here, including the other one, LA, Boston, Las Vegas, have Italian restaurants. There's a lot of Italian restaurants in these cities. So what you can do is you can look up, hey, what areas have the highest concentration of roofers? What areas have the highest concentration of home remodelers? Whatever it may be, right? Just look up those types of areas and you can input those cities. Then finally, what I did was I just pressed extract emails and social, and I just pressed get data. So you're going to use this Outscraper tool to actually go ahead and scrape local small businesses. Now, if you're doing Apollo, here's how that would work, right? So you can go into here, you can put the job titles that you want to target. For this example, I did marketing manager, and you can go into here, click on employees. You can go to 11 to 20, 21 to 50, 51 to 100. And then I just put you can also put industry right here, but I also put Optimizely as one of the technologies that they use, right? So that's pretty much how Apollo is pretty straightforward. It's not that hard to actually build that lead list. It's just a matter of just figuring out what your ICP is and just inputting those filters on Apollo itself. So once you have figured it out, it's really a piece of cake. It's not that hard, honestly. You can just filter by range, by job title, by technologies. It's not too bad, trust me. So that's how you actually scrape the lead list and actually filter down and find your target market. Then once you have scraped that lead list, what you need to do is you need to verify these emails. So you have to understand that even on these databases, only about 50 to 60% of those emails are actually valid, right? So with that being said, what you need to do is you have to verify the emails and only send out the emails that are valid. If you send out the emails that are invalid, you're one, wasting your time because you're sending out the invalid emails, and two, you're actually hurting your domain and emails because you're sending out basically the invalid emails. If you send out the invalid emails and the email bounces, it'll actually hurt your email rating, I guess you could say. It could hurt your domain health, your email health, and that will cause more emails to go to spam, right? So essentially what I'm trying to say here is verify the emails once you've pulled off of these databases. Once you pull the lead list off of Outscraper, once you pull the lead list off of Apollo, verify the emails using one of these two verifier here. And like I said, only if you pull a lead list of about 10,000 people off of Apollo, probably only like 5,000 or 6,000 are valid that you can send to, right? You obviously don't want to send to the other 4,000 because, again, it will hurt your domain health and you'll be wasting time. So verify your emails using one of these two. I personally use Dbounce, but you can use Million Verifier as well. They both work fantastic. There's really no difference besides the fact that Dbounce is cheaper. But I know Dbounce has like a I guess a cool down period, a wait period. They don't take. It's not like anybody can get in. Sometimes you have to request it. So, yeah, I use any of these two. They're both great. But that is the first step, ladies and gentlemen. Find your ICP, scrape your ICP, and then verify the emails. That is the first step. Then the second thing for this lead generation strategy is the offers and the scripts itself, right? So for the offers and scripts, we're going to first start off by doing market research on the pain points and desires of your ICP. You see, with marketing, if you can understand your customer and you can understand what are some things that they struggle with and what are some desires that you have, and how can my services or product bridge the gap, you will be in a fantastic spot, right? Imagine that someone has a pain point which is here, and or they are here right now and they have a desire right here. And now imagine that your services or product is like a bridge to get them to that desire that they want. If you can convey it that way, your customers and clients or your prospects will end up buying from you, right? So this is very, very, very important that you do this because it will give you insane insight into what they want and how your services or product can tie into what they want and what they're dealing with to help them, appease the pain or get them to the desire, right? So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna look up the pain points of your ideal customers. So what I did here was I basically just said, hey, I went to ChatGPT and I asked it like, hey, here is my website, and to input, you can copy this prompt. Here's my website, www.gamic.com, gamic.us. What are some pain points that marketing agencies deal with when it comes to lead generation services? For this one, I actually did my client, and we were doing video production to surgeons, right? But basically, I just asked it, what are some here's my website, and I put my client's website, and I said, what are some pain points that surgeons face when it comes to my services that I can help them solve, right? And then it gives us all of this, like lack of trust and credibility online, how you can help, right? Difficulty standing out in the competitive market, how you can help, and low conversion rate from website and social media traffic, how you can help, right? So these are like good pain points and good ammo that you can use in your emails when writing your emails, so that whenever you reach out to them, you can make it seem like you actually understand them. So do this for your own services or offer right now. Like, just pause this video, go to ChatGPT, and be like, hey, here's my website. What are some pain points that my ICP faces when it comes to my services or product? And it'll give you all of this, right? Then once you've done that, you can be like, hey, be more specific on the pain points. What keeps them up at night that my services or offer can help them with? And then it's like, hey, here are specific pain points that owners of plastic surgery clinics with over 10 employees with over 10 employees face, that how you can help, right? And it'll say like fear of losing high value leads customers, struggling to build trust with skeptical prospects. So you can first ask it a broad general, like, hey, what are pain points that my ICP faces when it comes to my services or product? And then ask it like, be more specific. I want to know like the specific pain points that these people face when it comes to my services or product. And one rule of thumb that I want to include in here that I have in the second screenshot, but not the first, is you want to put the job title, the industry, as well as anything else when it comes to related to their ICP, like let's say 10 to 50 employees or 100 to 200 employees that they face, right? If you can put this, ChatGPT will literally output you more specific pain points that they may have, and you can use this in your emails, right? So that's it when it comes to pain points. Now, when it comes to desires, you could say the same thing, like, hey, what are some desires that my ICP has, and how can my services or product help them? And for my client, it just said, hey, they want to attract more high-paying clients. They want to establish authority and credibility. They want to increase online visibility and SEO ranking, right? So for you, it could be something else. But again, note all of this down. Write all of this down on Google Doc. You can literally copy-paste it, and then you can easily write your cold email scripts off of all of this information, and really ask it to be specific, right? Ask it to go in detail and copy paste it and write all of this down on Google Docs, and you'll be able to easily write your emails. Like, trust me, it's super easy when you have ChatGPT to do your market research with, right? Now, once you've done that for both pain points and desires, and you are specific to what you sell, we can now get into is script writing, right? So scripts are pretty simple once you have all of the details, like the pain points and the desires, because the ammo is literally all that we just asked for. the ammo that you need to write these scripts are all of the pain points and desires that we just asked for, right? So for scripts itself, right? It's I want you to follow these guidelines. Keep it at a seventh grade reading level and under 75 words. And the reason I say seventh grade reading level is that the average reading level of an American is a seventh grade reading level. So even if you're reaching out to doctors, even if you're reaching out to lawyers or people with PhDs, keep it simple. Because if imagine you are like a doctor or a lawyer, right? Every single day you get emails and you're dealing with all this high level technical stuff of all the, whatever they deal with. But, you can assume and take an educated guess that they deal with a lot of like smart stuff, right? Quote unquote. If you send them an email that's super simple, in a way, it will be like a pattern interrupt. Because they'll look at it and they'll be like, huh, well, I don't usually get emails like this that are this simple and straightforward. I'm going to read it. Because every single day they get high level stuff where it's like, freaking MLA format essays on their emails. But if you're sending them like a simple email where it looks like a friend wrote it to them, then they'll be interested, right? And the second thing, and it kind of ties into the second thing. The second thing is keep it under 75 words. No one wants to read an entire MLA format Harvard essay and a wall of text over what you do and how you can help them. Of what you do. Instead, it's better to keep it short, simple, and to the point because, again, these people are extremely busy. Your ideal customers are extremely busy. Not just doctors and lawyers. Everybody's extremely busy when you think about it. No matter what target market you're targeting, especially if you are targeting like doctors and lawyers, but everybody is busy, so they don't have time to sit there and read your entire MLA format essay, especially from a stranger, right? So you have to keep it short and simple and keep it under 75 words because that way they can skim it in about 10 seconds and just understand the gist of what you're saying. Another thing is no links or images. There's a setting on Smart Lead where it's called, enhanced deliverability or something like that, where it'll only send HTML emails. And the reason why you want to do this is if you send links or images, your cold emails will actually end up in spam. If you're sending mass links and images, like let's say you have a lead list of 3,000 people and you're sending a lot of links and images in the emails and stuff, you're going to end up going with spam. So don't use links or images. If it's one-on-one, like if someone's like, hey, can I book a time on your calendar? You can send them a calendar link, that's fine. But if it's like one to many, like 3,000 plus or like 1,000 plus or even like 100 plus, I would not do. Don't send it, right? And then finally, the last thing I want you to take a note of is have an open-ended call to action. Do not pitch a meeting. Like, do not say, hey, I'll open the chatting. Do you want to book a time next week? Don't. In the first email, at least, do not do that. Because you have to think of it of like, if I were in my prospect's shoes, if I got an email from me and this guy, a stranger, is already saying, hey, do you want to hop on a call? I'm going to be like, no, I do not want to hop on a call. I don't even know you. You send me like one email with 70 words or 80 words and you want to already hop on a call. I don't know you. Why should I listen to you? Right? So you have to think of it of your prospect's perspective of would you hop on a call if you had an email from you and you pitched the call, right? More than likely you're not hopping on a call. So instead, just ask an open-ended call to action or like a soft call to action where it's like, hey, can I send more information or interested in hearing more? That way you can send them more information about your services or product, and then you can pitch a call, right? So after all of that has been said, in terms of like the actual scripts itself, there's quite literally a million ways you can write a cold email script. But in my opinion, this script never goes out of style, and it will never, ever, ever, ever go away, right? So the format is this. First line is like a reason why you're reaching out. You can talk about a pain point. You can have like AI personalization with Clay. You can talk about, you can talk about like, hey, I found you while looking for plumbers in Miami, whatever it may be. You can just have like a reason why you're reaching out. Then you're going to go into your offer. Then you're going to go into a case study. Then you're going to have a call to action, right? And I'll give you some examples of how to do this. So these are two offers that we had, or two scripts that I had that I want to show you. So the first one is like saying, hey, Event Pro Catering, this company and this company look like the top choices for catering in your area according to Google. And this is the kind of like the reason why we're reaching out. We'll get you 10 bookings every month, beating your competition using our lead acquisition funnel. That's the offer. We recently helped this company get 10 new $1,250 events in just 1 month. That's the case study. Open to learning more. And the PS line is kind of like an extra, but you don't really need it. But that's pretty much the script. The first line, why are you reaching out? Oh, because your competitors are ranking higher than you on Google. We'll get you 10 new bookings every month, beating your competition using our lead acquisition funnel. That's the offer. We recently helped this company get 10 new $1,250 events in just 1 month. That's a case study, and open to learning more, right? So pretty simple, right? It's not that hard. But this format never ever goes out of style. Or another one. Hey Carter, is your team spending too much time seeking orders instead of getting them out the door? This is a pain point that that warehouses has, that we were essentially poking the bear of, like saying, hey, is your team dealing with this pain point? More than likely they are. Our WMS helps you ship 50 to 100 more orders per week by automating picking and syncing seamlessly with Shopify and Amazon to keep customers happy. This is the offer. This person or this company streamlined their shipping from Home Depot, Lowe's, and Shopify, preventing inventory losses using our software. Can I send you a video that explains how it works, right? This is the case study, and this is the call to action, right? Notice I'm not pitching a call. It's all pretty short. It's to the point, and it's pretty simple, right? And there's no links or images in there at all. So this is the format that you want to follow. Have like a first line that talks about their pain point, which you got from doing the market research part. You could have an offer, have a case study, and have a quick video on how it works. This email script quite literally never ever goes out of style, because it's very valid, it's very solid, and it just always works, right? So that is the offers and script part. The last part I want to talk about is following up with prospects, right? So again, you have to realize that prospects are busy, right? When you're reaching out to, let's say, a CMO of 100 employee insurance company, right? You have to imagine, like, put yourself in their shoes. Like, what is their day-to-day like if they're managing that big of a company? Well, they have to, if they're running Facebook ads, they have to work on optimizing that. They have to meet with their marketing team. They have to see, how they're recording content and videos. They have to see how their SEO is going. They have to see all these other extra stuff. And then on top of that, they have pressure from like a CEO and the board members that, hey, like, we need you to do this with the marketing. We need you to do this. Then they drive back home, or they go back to their personal lives. They have wife, they have kids. So you're starting to get my point. People are just busy. Right? You can't just email them once, and especially if like a high level company, and expect them to answer immediately. You have to keep following up with them so that you really ingrain in their mind, like, hey, this person, send me this email. Because think about it like this. I don't know the exact statistic, but most of the time people open emails on their phones, right? So how many times, next time you do this, catch yourself and remind yourself of this situation. How many times you just randomly open your phone, you get an email, right? And you click on the thing, you click on the message, and you're like, oh, it's pretty cool email. Or like, oh, there's an email, swipe away, right? I do that a lot. Like, trust me, I'll just randomly open my phone, click my email, I'll see something someone sent me, click on it, swipe out, and I'm done, right? And the way you can solve that is by following up multiple times instead of just sending one email. So there's two things you could do there's two things I'm going to speak about here. Which is if they didn't respond, and if they did respond to your first email, right? So if they didn't respond to your first email, what you can send them in email 2 and email 3 is more case studies. You can send them case study breakdowns. You can send them like, hey, I have a PDF that breaks down how we help this other company get 40% increased revenue in 3 months. Can I send it here, right? You can send them things like that. You can send them to a testimonial. But hey, I have a video that breaks down how we help this company get 40% extra revenue in 12 months. Can I send it here? You can send them that as well. So there's multiple different ways you can skin the cat here. Just send them different ways about the case study. Or you can send them more information on your services or product. You can be like, hey, our lead generation acquisition funnel will help you get more patients without having to break the bank or rely on referrals by doing this, and this. Obviously, keep it simple. Don't go super high level. Keep it simple. Or you can ask if there's someone else on their company better suited for your message. So if they haven't responded, to be like, hey, I sent you an email a few times and it looks like you haven't really responded or reciprocated. Is there anybody else in your company that might be interested in my marketing services or my billing software, whatever it may be, right? And the other thing I want you to notice is you want to follow up 2 to 3 times max. The thing with cold emails is that if you follow up to a prospect that hasn't replied to you more than 2 to 3 times max, that's when you'll start to end up going in a spam filter. So just keep the follow-ups to 2 to 3 times max, but use 2 or 3 out of these 3, and you should be fine, right? Now, if they did respond, here's what you need to do. If they did respond, again, send them case studies. If they did respond and they ghosted you, send them case studies. Send them PDFs, text breakdown, testimonials, whatever it may be. You can also send them Loom videos. You go, hey, I made you this video that goes over how we think we can help you out. Hey, mind if I send it here? And you can send them a Loom video after. You can send them relevant follow-ups. So what do I mean by relevant follow-ups? Well, if they're in a certain industry, but imagine they're in like the B2B AI healthcare tech industry, right? You can send them industry relevant news like, hey, I saw this company launched new LLM. LLM is like large language model, like ChatGPT, right? I saw this new company launched like an LLM, and I heard about how it could affect your industry, blah 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 blah. Reminding me to follow up with you, or reminding me I wanted to reach back out because I saw that because our services can help you do blah 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 blah, right? Or if you're under LinkedIn, if you're on your company LinkedIn page, you go like, hey, I saw that you guys recently got funded for your Series A, right? Or you can go on their personal LinkedIn and be like, hey, I saw you recently got promoted at your job, or I saw you post about this specific sales issue in the marketing company or in the marketing industry. I agree with your point. I wanted to reach back out because we do blah 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 blah, right? So look at their like industry, look at the company, look at their personal LinkedIn, and find a nugget that you can extract out of there and reach out to them. And I've sequenced it in a way here so that it is from least effective to most effective. If you get the personal stuff, it's gonna be very effective because it's obviously about them. If you get the company stuff, it won't be as effective as personal, but it's still decent. If you get the industry stuff, again, it won't be as effective, but it's decent. All right, it's okay. Then another thing you could do is warm call them. So like literally go on LinkedIn, and I believe Apollo has a mobile number scraper. But if you go on someone's LinkedIn profile, you can literally get their mobile number from Apollo, and you can call them. Be like, hey, John, I sent you an email. Hey, John, this is Aryan from Gaming Media. I sent you an email a few days ago about getting you qualified meetings using cold email. Does that ring a bell? Right? And you can just have a conversation about the email that you sent them. That way, you can just handle any objections and be like, hey, like, let's get you on a call. That way we can actually, I know you're busy right now, but let's get you on a call. That way we can book you in for a time to where we can show you how our product works or how our services work, right? So send all of these, send case studies, send Loom videos, send relevant follow-ups, warm call them, and finally follow up infinite times until they tell you no. Because once they've told you yes, that means they're at least somewhat interested. They're interested in your services or product. So just keep following up multiple times until they tell you to no, or until you book them in for a meeting, right? And then the last thing, for example, was this guy right here. This is not the best example because some of the follow-ups I sent were not that good, but he was like, hey, let's check it out for like a case study, or like a PDF that breaks down some of our best case studies. So I sent them it here. I just said, I bumped it up. Happy Monday. Seems like you're busy, so I wanted to offer you a free video. This is for one of our other clients. Wanted to bump up our message. Would now be a better time to discuss increasing your profits using our short form video content. And I sent him an emoji. And then he said, yeah, can you send over the document that you referenced? Thanks. So I followed up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to actually book him in for a meeting, and they hopped on the call. So this is, again, don't steal these follow-ups, because honestly, don't send just bumping this up or making sure you saw my previous message, because that sounds lazy. Like, you're not really putting in effort. This was about a year ago, about like a year and a half ago, but almost 2 years ago. Geez, but if you send that way, it just sounds lazy. Like, it sounds like you're not really putting in effort. Obviously, put in effort by sending case studies, by sending Loom videos and industry relevant or like just relevant follow-ups in general, but what I'm trying to illustrate my point here is that, like, follow up with them multiple times until you book them in for a meeting. That's it, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much the best lead generation strategy for 2025 that you can just go ahead and use, that has gotten me and my clients incredible results. And what I want to say here is subscribe and like for even more content like this. If you found this extremely valuable, press the subscribe and like button. And if you are a B2B business making over $30,000 a month or more, and you want 10 to 20 qualified meetings a month, click the link below, and we can book a time to chat, and we can see if we can help you achieve these 10 to 20 qualified meetings every single month. So with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.